The billionaire probably has a pretty decent grasp of the business cycle, but the congressman might not. It sort of depends on what their background is. And also what they're under, like them having a deeper understanding of the business cycle is probably going to make the most difference to policy.
If they were willing to admit that they didn't understand. I always do a segment called the Final Five. These are 5 questions, not all that serious, but hopefully they'll give us a little more insight into your personality and character. Okay.
All right.
Question number one. If you had to choose one person to explain a recession to at a dinner party, would you rather it be a 5-year-old, a billionaire, or a member of Congress?
Member of Congress because I think it would make the most difference. The 5-year-old would struggle,
Right.
right? I mean, the a 5-year-old's mind it's learning so much and so much complicated stuff. You think about how just hard it is to walk, right? They've got bigger things to worry about right now. The billionaire probably has a pretty decent grasp of the business cycle, but the congressman might not. It sort of depends on what their background is, and also what they're under, like them having a deeper understanding of the business cycle is probably going to make the most difference to policy.
If they were willing to admit that they didn't
Well,
understand.
sure. You know what? I'm just going to plant the seed. We're going to let it just put it in the soil. Hopefully, in a few years, it'll germinate,
Well,
bloom.
that's actually what I used to do. I should have said maybe a 12-year-old might have been a more compelling choice for you, but
Fair.
I always used to do that with my niece when she was still in high school and grade school. Was I'd always sit her by and try to teach her Austrian economics or Chicago school economics through practical examples. Because I'm hoping maybe one day she could grow up to be an Austrian economist and set the world straight. Okay, what's more dangerous in America? Bad incentives, bad information, or the people who say circle back but with total confidence?
Bad incentives, because bad incentives create bad information and bad behavior and bad responses, right? If you have good incentives and people have bad information, they'll go find better information.
Hmm.
But if they have good information and bad incentives, the outcomes are just going to stay bad.
Right, they could still weaponize the good
Yep.
information. Yep, yep.
But I mean, it's not even a guy I knew who was an entrepreneur used to talk about how people incentivize their sales force. And if anyone has ever managed a sales force, I haven't, but I've watched this process, right? You know that companies are constantly trying to divine a set of incentives that will exactly align the salespeople's interests with the companies, and the
Right,
salespeople are just endlessly finding ways to comply with the letter of the thing, but in
right,
ways that don't necessarily help the company. So, for example, I worked at a company where we bought a lot of equipment. And so our equipment guy, who was in charge of doing all the ordering, at the end of the year, he would always order a ton of equipment. Why? Because there were a bunch of salespeople who wanted to hit their quotas, and then they would just ship it back on like January 3rd.
right,
Um, right. And the entrepreneur I was talking to, he said, yeah, the problem is like you look at your sales force and you're like, these guys, they're not that intellectual. They're just like really charming. They're good at connecting with their customers, et cetera. And then so you change the sales system and you're like you're going to get them to do what I'm really smart. I'm going to set up the set of incentives and I'm going to make these people do what I want. And he's like, they're like Aristotle.
yes,
They will suddenly like figure out every hole,
right,
if you try to, they'll immediately turn into like high level math geniuses who can explain to you exactly why this system is no good and not fair.
right.
And that's just it. So it's not even, but I would do the same thing in their place. I wouldn't be any different. It's not because like they're bad people. This is just what the incentives are.
I agree with you. It's also one of the reasons why I enjoy listening to Tim Dillon's stories of when he was a mortgage lender. It's like some of those stories are hilarious. I've
And terrifying, yes.
terrifying, and yeah, but so I get what you're saying. Okay, you're trapped on a long plane flight between a crypto maximalist and a central planner. Who breaks your spirit first?
Um, Probably the central planner. The crypto people, I just don't. I have been trying to get people to explain to me what crypto is good for 15 years now.
Mhm.
I'm not much closer to believing in crypto, but I find it endlessly fascinating to try.
Right.
Whereas the central planning people, they just make me sad.
Mhm. That is not a good place to be on a long flight,
Yeah,
that much. Okay.
indeed.
Okay.
I hope we have complimentary whiskey on this flight.
I'm sure you would. Okay, this one's gonna ask for a little imagination. Jane Galt walks into a WAPO editorial
Someone is at the front door. Oh, sorry. Just a sec. You want to repeat the question?
Sure, I'll start over. Jane Galt walks into a WAPO editorial meeting. Does she high five you, or does she demand a full repeal of Obamacare on the spot?
Um, I think Jane Galt might be a little disappointed in me. I've softened over the years, but I think and I don't think that I believe it's even possible to repeal Obamacare at this point. It's so deeply embedded in the system in so many ways. So I think she would demand it, and I would try to explain to her why it's not going to happen.
Okay. All right, and the last question. Finish this sentence. The greatest unintended consequence in policy history is.
Oh man, that's a hard one. I would say the greatest, not in the sense that I'm fond of it, but that I think it is possibly the most interesting one, is that social security systems seem to undercut their own demographic viability.
Mm,
The more generous your social security system is, the fewer kids people have. And the problem is that on an individual level, that's rational, but on a national level, at a system level, you actually need everyone to be having kids because there's no way to keep the system viable without that.
yeah, and it's interesting you picked that one because in say the 1920s and 30s, your retirement plan was that one of your 8 or 10 kids would come home and take care of you or take you in,
Yep.
right? So whereas now that's no longer the case.